What's up guys, it's me, Gypsy. The video I have for you guys today is 7 most terrifying places. Now, starting with number 7 is the Riddle House. Now, this was featured on Ghost Adventures, but anyway, this semi-normal house in West Palm Beach, Florida was built as a funeral parlor in the early 1900s, then became a private residence. Used as housing for the overseers of a nearby cemetery, in addition to, one would assume, the ghosts of the funeral parlor clients. There are 2 spirits associated with the home from its second iteration. A cemetery worker named Buck, an employee in financial distress, hung himself in the attic. The place has trouble keeping workers, and in later years also has had trouble keeping tenants. It split into abandonment and was about to be demolished until a Riddle descendant stepped in at the last moment and saved the house by moving it to a historical park called Yesteryear Village. Okay. Number 6 is the Paris Catacombs. This one shouldn't be much of a surprise to anybody. The Paris Catacombs contains the remains of around 6 million people, allegedly frequented by cultist people claiming to be vampires, and of course the ghosts of the dead, who are likely upset at the tourists parading through the burial site. It's a little wonder the subterranean labyrinth radiates a spooky energy. The catacombs beneath Paris, France definitely win the creepy category. Number 5, Barry Mental Hospital. This Pennsylvania State Hospital at Barry, located outside Philadelphia on Barry Road, was the stuff of nightmares. There are multiple first-hand accounts of malpractice, neglect, and abuse that ended in murder, torture, and multiple unexplained deaths within its walls. The stories are truly horrific, almost unbelievable, honestly, which means that even though the institution has its fair share of ghost stories, what happened to the living is just as terrifying. Let's see, number 4 is the Tolo Slang Genocide Museum. Hopefully I said it right. This museum in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, is a relic of the Cambodian genocide carried out by the Khmer Rouge in the 1970s. Hopefully I said that right. Once a high school, the building was converted into a prison and tutor center during the reign of the Khmer Rouge. If I said that right. An estimate of 1,400 people died in the covered high school that became Cambodia's security prison 21. Only 7 prisoners survived to tell the story of torture, interrogation, and execution that took place within its walls. There's also a massive amount of photographic evidence that survived, Photos of broken men, women, and children forced to confess the charges they likely were not guilty of in order to stop the pain. The place is understandably thought to be haunted, with thousands of procreated violence and unnecessary deaths having happened within the walls. The Tulo Sling Genocide Museum retains an unnatural air to this day. Oh, isn't that right? Okay, number 3, the Ridges. The Ridges, formerly the Athens Lunatic Asylum, was an asylum in Athens, Ohio, built at the turn of the 20th century. Naturally, this means the old structure is infamous for overcrowding, diseases, neglect, and barbaric medical practices. This asylum was also home to infamous rapist and murderer Billy Milligan, most recently used as an inspiration for the lead character in the film Split. Wow, I didn't know that. It's actually kind of some fun facts, sort of. The building has now been repurposed by the Ohio University. Okay, number 2 is Leap Castle. Now, if I remember correctly, this one was also featured on Ghost Adventures. I'm not sure. When the building has existed for 800 years, it's going to be rife with stories of previous occupants sticking around long past their official eviction dates. Leap Castle is officially Ireland in the rule, not the expectation, with a rich history of warning clansmen, murderous family feuds, plus a secret room of the chapel that housed cart loads of bones. Wow. It would probably take another 800 years to name all of the people who have reasons to haunt the place, but only a mere second for their presence to send chills up your spine. Number 1, Stull Cemetery, which I have done a video on. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, as a Missourian, that's how it started up. I feel slightly cheated that I was never informed that one of the gates to hell existed in my neighborhood, state of Kansas. Now this is from somebody else saying this. In the town of Stone, no less, within a population of fewer than 100 people. The story legend mostly contains a few different pieces, all of which contain some reference to the devil in the tiny town. The first, there's a cemetery there that's said to hide the actual staircase to hell. It's hard to find and only opens up on the spring equinox and on Halloween. Not that you'd want to go looking. I don't think anybody would want to go looking for that. Unless you're a Satanist or some satanic worshiper, then you probably would. And allegedly used by witches and other occult practices before the town bulldozed it. Smart people. A perfectly healthy tree was cut down to deter the curious. The tree had split a headstone in half and was said to have once provided a sturdy branch for hanging witches. Old maps of the town also contain reference to Devil Road. Thought no modern maps mention any such place. Wow. That is amazing, guys. And if you guys want more of these videos, then just let me know in the comments down below. And I have a email set up for you guys if you guys want to suggest anything. It's ccgaghost@gmail.com. All you have to do is email me, and you can send your suggestions there if you want, or you can leave it in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys soon for the next video. Have a great day.